Tumesema wacha ijulikane.
Hoya guys, Nairobi County imeanza kuharibika venye tunaongea saizi. Na hii kitu guys itakuja kufanyika countrywide. Nono watu, haitakuwa county ya Nairobi peke yake. Expect kwanza kuulizwa una support nani 2027. Utapigia nani kura 2027. Ukisema Rigathi Gachagwa's team, then unafanyiwa uamuzi pale hapo na hapo. Ukisema William Ruto, uamuzi hapo na hapo. Unaona watu, na hii kikosi itakuwa inasponsiwa na President William Ruto. You guys kufikia saizi, William Ruto sha realize yeye anaenda kulusi kitu. Na hata kubalia iende hivi hivi. And that's why kwa video yangu ya leo mapema nimekupostia nikiponyesha Jubalance wameconfess wanawaka na President William Ruto ili wamsaidie kufanya nini in 2027. Washaingia hapa nchini Kenya. Unaona watu wangu, angalia tu video yangu ya leo very early in the morning. No guys, now Nairobi County kikosi cha terrorist kimeanza kuingia pale na kimeanza kushambulia watu mmoja baada ya mwingine. Unaona watu wangu, now you see guys, juzi Johnson Sakaja alikuwa anaenda kwa impeached. And ukiangalia vizuri watu wanasema kwamba maybe kikosi ni ya Johnson Sakaja anajaribu tena kusponsor. Na utakuja realizing ya kwamba wale MCAs ambao walikuwa wameanza kutable impeachment ya huyu jamaa ndio watakuwa wanaanza kushambuliwa. Unaona watu wangu, and kabla tufike pale uangalie mambo jinsi ambavyo wameanza kuchemuka. Kumbuka Raila Odinga ameona dust. Raila Odinga ameachwa kwa mataa. Hii kikosi ambacho kinaitwa Kenya Moja, Babu Owino, Edwin Sifuna and Honorable wa Muchomba kimeanza kupeana Raila Amolo Odinga tumbo joto akiwa na William Samoei Arap Ruto. Unaona watu wangu, kimechemuka. Na hao majamaa na reveal wanatuambia kwamba wako na members of parliament, more than 7 of them washafanya nini? Washakuja pamoja. They want now to confront President William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga kabla 2027. You are going to be shocked in this video. And that's why guys, nakwambia usijaribu kuswipe hii video. Kabla tuendelee, ensure me like video na nasema thanks for your great support. Nyinyi ni watu wa nguvu zaidi. Kwa hivyo guys, nimeona tu tuanze kwanza na hawa kina Babu Owino walikuwa Citizen TV. Na venye wanajaribu kureveal, then Raila Odinga amekuwa scared. I can tell you, Raila Odinga ameanza begging them, calling them kwamba bana what's going on? Unaona watu wangu, juu Raila Odinga alikuwa anafikiria kwamba yeye maybe ni Mungu ambaye watu wataendelea respect always. Watu wataendelea kufuata ujinga wake, akienda huku eti wanaenda hivi. Mambo yamebadilika watu wangu na ina boil nicely. Sikiza.
For you, Mheshimiwa Babu Owino, coming in, this is your second term, isn't it?
Yes.
As the Member of Parliament for Embakasi East, very vocal. But now you don't exactly agree with the arrangement of politics. The other day you were referring to broad-based government as a broad-based corruption. What happened?
Thank you very much, Sam. I want to tell you that as a member of ODM, we are working within the dictates and the principles of ODM. ODM means Orange Democratic Movement. Mm-hmm. The democracy part of it, the democratic part of it, yep, dictates that the majority will have their way, mm-hmm, while the minority will have their say. Mm-hmm. And then some. As Kenya Kwanza movement, we came together, mm-hmm, as Kenya Kwanza movement. Some people call it the third force. We call it the Kenya only Kwanza force. Kenya Moja? Sorry. The Kenya Moja movement.
Kenya Kwanza is another one.
Kenya Kwanza now is the defunct government. Mm-hmm. The Kenya Moja movement. Yep. Some people call it the third force. We call it the only force. The intention of Kenya Moja movement, mm-hmm, is to bring down the towers of oppression and raise the banners of freedom. And I want to tell you that we came together, mm-hmm, not because we are afraid or want to annoy anybody, but we came together because Kenyans are tired. Kenyans are tired of lies. Kenyans are tired of unfulfilled promises. Kenyans are tired of watching their dreams die at the hands of corruption. Mm. Kenyans have been told to wait for far too long. They've been told to wait for jobs. They've been told to wait for quality and better education, which is affordable. They've been told to wait for better healthcare that shall be provided. But the wait has come to an end because these promises have been unfulfilled. And because of that, the Kenya Moja comes in to take the position to be a revolutionary movement, not a revolution of guns or violence, but a revolution of ideas, a revolution of courage, a revolution of unity, a revolution of jobs.
You know, Mheshimiwa Babu, I've heard you say these things in previous campaigns.
And lastly,
yeah,
I want to tell you that this is the time for Kenyans to rise. Kenyans must rise, not just to protest, not just to make noise or talk. The righteous anger alone is not enough. But Kenyans must rise to reclaim and fight for their stolen things, for what has been stolen from them, which is their dignity, which is their future, which is their freedom. And that is why the Kenya Moja movement is here.
That's what I'm asking. In 2017, I saw you, that time you were under NASA. You
Yes.
said, not in exact same words, but in similar language. You're now saying it again. You're working with the Secretary General of ODM, Edwin Sifuna, who is also in Kenya Moja. So what exactly is changing here?
Whatever didn't work in 2017, we will reclaim now. Whatever we lost in the fire, we shall get it in the ashes.
How so?
As soon as possible.
How will you do that?
Through Kenya Moja revolutionary movement.
So what is that? Because you come from ODM, she comes from UDA.
I started by telling you very well that Kenya Moja movement is a movement of like-minded members of parliament. The role of a member of parliament is to keep checks and balances in the excesses of the executive. That is one of the roles that we are playing as an oversight role to the executive.
Does ODM do that?
ODM has been doing that. ODM was in opposition until it joined the broad-based government. But I told you that Baba himself said that you are allowed to speak to the excesses of the government. And he said it severally. So therefore, we will not keep quiet and watch Kenyans suffer. So we will not keep quiet and watch people being taxed because of the unaffordable houses. We will not keep quiet and see our brothers and sisters not going to school because of expensive education.
So when you say that ODM does that, but when you list the like-minded MPs, you're not talking about ODM MPs. I don't know how many you are in parliament. You're talking about a few, and Odinga Moshamba here. So what has happened there?
First of all, we are not a few. We are close to around 70 members of parliament who are in Kenya Moja movement.
Who are they?
We can't mention them all,
No,
but we are over 70 members of parliament.
I've only seen yourself, Odinga Moshamba, Senator Sifuna, Caleb Amisi, Anthony Kibagendi. Who am I missing?
We are over 70 members of parliament, my brother.
Okay, I'm missing 65.
65, you will see them soon. And I want to tell you that even if you go by the minority, with God makes a majority.
But in parliament, you just said, minority have their say, majority have their way.
Because we are 349 members of parliament, and we are close to around 70, which means that we are still the minority in parliament, with the majority of Kenyans.
For you, Mheshimiwa Odinga Moshamba, elected on a UDA ticket, went on a different trajectory, disagreed with the current government from the year 2023. Now with Kenya Moja, who are you now?
Odinga Moshamba, MP for Githunguri constituency. Madhe.
Yes. Politically?
Politically, I'm an elected member of parliament.
That's what I'm asking, because you've seen you shifting in terms of you don't agree with your political party. You're now actually not necessarily, there's a time you're working with Rigathi Gachagua and his policies, now not so much. Where are you?
I am in parliament. I'm elected in parliament to go and advocate for my people who believed in me and gave me their votes. I am a member of parliament whose business is to lobby and fight for my voters. I am a woman member of parliament who must fill the space of women leadership in parliament. I am a woman member of parliament who is also a farmer, who advocates for farmers' rights and needs. That's who Kadone is. And so when I'm in parliament, I associate with members of parliament who are in my way of thinking, people who think like the way I think, people who believe in what I believe, people who fight for what I fight for. And that's why I find myself with Akina Babu and Akina Caleb Hamisi and Akina Wamani Waboka, Mheshimiwa. Because those are the people I call when my coffee farmers are oppressed, I call them. And I tell them, you know, we need to fight for coffee farmers. Whenever I have issues and I feel I need help, like for example, during the protests and the demonstrations, the only person I could have called and said, you know, I have my little boys who are locked up in Kamiti law courts, and I mean Kahawa law courts, is Babu.
Right.
The only person I could ask for even free services to go and advocate for them out of court, it is Babu. So I find myself associating with Babu because these are the people who are on the ground, those who are understanding the issues, people who are ready and have the energy to go out and fight for the people. When I am asking who killed women and dumped their bodies in a Bakassi dump site, and I'm being chased out of parliament by the speaker, the people who call me and say, oh, sorry, we stand with you because what you're fighting for is what we believe in, are the Kenya Moja members of parliament. So Kenya Moja members of parliament are just a caucus, a gathering, a collection of members of parliament who have time, who have energy, who have concern for the people and the issues that are affecting people's livelihood.
So what exactly happened? Because 3 years ago, that was not the picture. You were in UDA, he was in ODM. It was very clear where you belonged.
I think you're wrong. Because myself and Babu associated immediately after we were elected in the second parliament.
Yes.
And we formed a group we used to call Ground Team, if you remember. The Ground Team was formed 3 months after we were sworn in.
That's what I'm saying.
And we actually associated, we did even pressers together. You remember we did some pressers on issues before even the Gen Zs rioted on Finance Bill 2024.
Let me rephrase my question because...
So we did not form this caucus yesterday.
Let me rephrase the question.
We've been working together.
Because 3 years ago, you had just come out of an election.
Yes.
Going into the election, you are in UDA, still are, but quite clear on, to speak out the language of Mwananchi, the hustler, bottom up. What changed along the way? Because the people you're mentioning are not necessarily from UDA. Okay.
What changed is when my president and my party and my coalition, Kenya Kwanza coalition, diverted from what we promised the people of Kenya during campaigns. When a proposal to tax people, overtax people came on in the floor of the House, and nobody listened to the concerns of the people. I raised my voice and I said, I cannot pass this finance bill when it is taxing my avocado farmers and my coffee farmers. I said I cannot pass this finance bill when it has an aspect of sanitary towels and diapers that I was not comfortable with. I made a lot of noise in Parliament. That's where I behaved the way I behaved. And I said, I'm not going to pass that finance bill. That's where the journey started.
Mheshimiwa Karoli Omonde, initially, at the start of this parliament, you were one of those people that were punished for going to State House alongside other members of parliament. That was in 2023, or was it 22 late? I think it was 2023. Today, there's a broad-based arrangement. So what has that been for you watching? And are you still of the mind that what you did in the first place was the right thing versus what is happening now with the broad-based government?
Yeah, thank you for that question, Sam. I think when you talk about democracy or democratic values or constitutionalism, they should not just be mere words. They should be things that you believe in and you practice. Personally, I was convinced that President William Ruto won the last elections fair and square. And I'd predicted it. I'd told a lot of people that my assessment is that he would win. And he did win, in my view, if I looked at the data, the statistics, and everything. So when I came to Parliament, it was my constitutional duty to acknowledge the fact that there was a victor in those elections. So I think I'm the only ODM MP who went for a swearing in. And I didn't hide. I left my house, I drove my pickup to Parliament, I parked it, I got into the parliamentary bus. I went to Kasarani, like any democratic person should do in a democracy. I witnessed his swearing in and I went back to my house. That is what happens in democracies.
Yeah.
Yes. When an election is held, unatii amri.
Yeah.
Not that you have crossed over. But soon thereafter, I again noticed that there was a lot of disorganization in Azimio. We went for a meeting in Masai Lodge with our principals. It was very chaotic for me, extremely chaotic. Then thereafter, we had elections of our leaders in Parliament. Again, that didn't go very well. And then we started now doing our normal things. Committees came by. I was actually not even put in any. It was by grace of God and the standing orders that I was put in the sports committee. And then one day, when the president came to give his inaugural address, he greeted me and he said, "Where have you been?" Because when he became deputy president, remember we had been in ODM and I was chief of staff to the prime minister. When he came to Arambe Avenue, I was not there to receive him and hand over. So I thought that was what was in his mind. I've won a second time, you are running away. So I just told him, "I'm around, Your Excellency."
Yeah.
Then we again met in Mombasa. And when he came to address members of parliament, and he asked me, "How is that road you used to talk to me about?" So I said, "Okay, fine. I should come see you and we see what we can do about it."
Yeah.
Not that he was wooing me to cross over, leave ODM. He just wanted an engagement, and I also needed it. When I discussed this with a few of my members, colleagues, 5 of us agreed that we'll engage with the president on specific issues of development. And we agreed we'll do it in broad daylight. And we didn't go to State House at night. We agreed we will go at 8 a.m.,
right,
working hours, which we did. And I can assure you, before we went there, 2 other members joined us, but we got the information that we should go with them. They were not part of the team. But anyway, we went there, and the things we discussed, from Migori we had Nyamita and Owino of Awendo. But the things that Nyamita raised for Migori were the airport of Migori, payment of sugarcane farmers, yeah, very important issues, and some roads, and Gogo Falls Dam. They're all being done today. From Homa Bay County, it was myself and Ray Omolo, the PS. The things we raised, Lake Victoria Ring Road, Suba Tamaking, Rusinga Tamaking, road in Fangano Island, are being done today, and the airport in Homa Bay. In Siaya, Ochanda raised Goe Bridge, Kalandini, Kalamindi Road, there's a road there, which Owalo raised, and a few other things. Those are being done. In Kisumu, Ochanda and Shakil, Ojenda and Shakil raised completion of the interchange, the issue of Mamboleo, Chemelil Road, and there was one across there. 2 of those are being done.
Right.
So if you look at those things, what we raised, which was development, there's no time the president asked us to cross over. But he gave us indication that a lot of the people who were opposing us were actually meeting him at night in ODM and seeing him and going there, and he gave us their names. And today we see that. Yes? And the difference between us and our other friends, we have not lost our head about working with the president. When you support the president, it doesn't mean you lose your head and you join praise and worship. You should remain objective. You should engage.
Have you managed to do that?
Show me a clip where I'm sycophantic.
No, I'm asking.
you show me.
I'm simply asking. I'm not accusing you.
And in any event,
Yeah.
I knew that those who are making the loudest noise against us would come.
Yeah.
I knew that.
And you
the
were punished
question,
for it,
yes, they tried to expel me from a party I started. And of course, I assured them they would lose and lose very badly, and they lost. And in fact, I have a judgment of cost of 690,000, which the party should pay me.
It hasn't come yet.
I have not demanded it as yet. But let me also come to another issue, because I have problems with how our parties function. About members of parliament.
Yeah.
These two members of parliament you see here, Honorable Babu, you'll allow me to say this. Babu Owino was actually instructed to come to Suba and hold rallies against me. He was actually ordered. He refused. In fact, I encouraged him. I told him, Babu, you must go, because I don't want you to get into trouble because of me. We'll arrange you go. He refused. You know, he surprised me. He refused to go. My dear lady here, we've worked on several things with her, on school feeding programs. We have worked, when the government came up with this idea of 10 billion core capital of banks, we opposed it vehemently with her. So in parliament, MPs find common issues that they work around.
Right.
And that is how it's supposed to be.
But let me ask you this while you're still on it. So you had to go to see the president for some of the projects that had stalled to be completed.
Yes.
Yet you sat in the house that shares the money.
Let nobody tell you that the budget is made in parliament.
It's not.
The budget proposals come from the executive. And when there's very serious political polarization, even the PS don't want to see MPs. Even the ministers won't engage you. So we knew very well. Like me, I've been in this movement from university. I can predict where they will be.
Yeah.
I know them. There's nothing I don't know about ODM. I know them. And right now, I think I know all the key political leaders because I've worked with them at Actually, Rigathi Gachagua was the first person to bring 2 million when we were starting ODM from Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta, those were members of ODM. Yeah? So I know these people. Yeah? I knew they would come. You understand me? And I was not going to pretend about it.
Yeah.
And I've been vindicated with our people.
So as we look into the future, do you see your future in ODM or elsewhere?
I have a lot of reservation. Actually, I was not supposed to run on ODM last elections. I was going to run as an independent candidate. But the polling showed consistently I would win. So I was called and discussions took place and I was given the nomination paper. But as we speak today, and actually I asked them not to announce it because I had to go back and try and explain to my supporters why that had happened because they didn't want it. I think we will make some announcement in the future. Or regarding which party I will run on. Yes, but the only thing I can tell you here, the instructions are from the Suba people are very clear. We must be on the side of the winning coalition, that they have told me. We must not go to opposition. We must know who will win the elections ahead and work with that person and that coalition on 3 things: fighting corruption, fighting negative ethnicity, and delivering economic dividend. That we have agreed with our people.
Is that known or not yet?
Elections in Kenya, you can, if you understand the science, you can tell who is going to win at least a year to.
A year to.
And we will know who that person is.
So about 2 years too.
Yes.
Mheshimiwa wa Mushomba, is your future in UDA or elsewhere?
I have a lot of reservations too. And today I was on the ground. I was in Githunguri. In fact, I spent the better part of the day with the people, moving from one shopping center to the other. Not barazas, but just engagement.
Yeah.
And I listen to them and I hear them. Yeah. So I'm waiting for them to, I'm waiting for my completion of my program, my public participation and public consultation.
Okay.
But trust me.
Yeah.
I will not join any political party that is patronized by the people's oppressors. People who have oppressed farmers, oppressed the elderly, oppressed the sick, deprived the rights of the young people, deprived the right of the sick. I will not join the oppressors of the Kenyan people. That is clear in my mind. If that means that my political, program or plan collapses, so be it.
Interesting. For you, Mheshimiwa, you're saying that you're in Kenya Moja. There are 70 of you that think like you do, all of you from different political parties. Well, I counted 5. Your future in ODM?
Sam, I want to tell you that that is tomorrow's problem. Today's problem is to ensure that my constituents are served, the services that I promised them are delivered, is to ensure that I put checks and balances to the excesses of this government and to ensure that those which they promised Kenyans, they deliver. And also, I will not lose the joy of today because of tomorrow's pressure or tomorrow's stress. So when we reach there, we will cross that river.
So you haven't made a decision. You're not consulting yourself.
Whatever I've said is a decision in itself.
Okay, so as you do that, you're saying that you're going to put the government in check. Not long ago, the president, were you at that parliamentary group meeting in Karen?
No.
For UD and ODM?
I was not there.
Why?
I was not there because when they were signing the agreement, I was not consulted. So I saw the need of not being consulted. And I had other important things and urgent things to attend to.
Usually when ODM is taking a decision, they consult you?
Of course, I'm a member of ODM. I'm a member of parliament in ODM. When a decision is being made, I must be consulted. Kenyans who are ODM members must be consulted.
I thought there were meetings. Or they not?
About?
Consulting about working with the Kenya Kwanza.
There were meetings, but who was called and who was not called?
Did I see Raila Odinga going to different locations in the country consulting, and eventually a decision was taken?
And I think that happened post, when there was some engagement with some governors, select governors. Were they 4 or 5? Yes, but I don't remember ever attending a meeting where these issues were discussed. In any event, I don't think they would have invited me to those meetings.
Why?
Because they tried to expel me from my party.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, from a
you know, I'm a founder member. I'm a party grandee of ODM. We are very few left. I think we are 3 or 4 left of the original founders.
So it's yourself and who?
Baba, Anyang, and I think Mama Aida.
Wow. Not even Oburu Oginga.
I think we gave them the certificates later. They were not founders.
Interesting.
Even Orengo was not a founder.
We are ODM by birth, we are ODM by bus.
Yes. They joined us. Uhuru was a founder.
Yeah.
Najib Balala, Charity Ngilu, Sally Kosgei, Henry Kosgei, William Ruto. Those were founders of ODM. I hope when we have the reunion, there'll be a special table for us.
Oh, so it's happening. I thought it was just said in jest. There is a reunion coming.
There should be.
Okay, so back to Mheshimiwa Wino. I'll get to you, Honorable Mushomba. So in that PG, I'm sure you saw the media coverage that Parliament was accused of extorting the executive, and members of Parliament are actually corrupt, according to the President. Does that reflect what you've seen in Parliament?
Actually, Sam, I will tell you that corruption has been a problem in this country, and I must admit that corruption is not just a crime. It is violence. It is violence against the poor. It is violence against the dreams of Kenyans. And it is violence that is killing the future of this nation. The President came out publicly, said that members of Parliament are corrupt. And I want to say that he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. And the Bible says that woe unto you, the Pharisee, who cleans the outside of the cup, the outside of the plate, and leaves the inside of the cup full of corruption, full of abductions, full of death. Corruption must be cleaned right from the executive. When you look at the office of the President, on his right, you see grand corruption. You see corruption in SHA at the executive. When you look at his left, you see a graveyard of corruption, whereby you see that capitation does not reach the intended schools. Schools are being paid hewa, okay? Hewa paid to schools, or air. When you look in front of the President, you see a cemetery of corruption. You see the governor of Nairobi. When you look at the Auditor General's report, 2022, 2023, and 2023, 2024, see how the governor of Nairobi has been accused of grand corruption.
By who?
By the Auditor General. Things which have not been accounted for. Number one, the Dishina County project.
Being accused of
let me
unaccounted for expenditure.
Yes,
is that corruption?
Which is corruption, because it is unaccounted for. They've been unaccounted for. Number one, the money that was given by the French government, 140 million Kenya shillings, cannot be accounted for. Number two, the 5 shillings that parents are paying, amounting to a total of over 370 million in a year, unaccounted for. Number three, the money over 6 billion that is budgeted for the Dishina County is unaccounted for. That tells you that there is a problem. The 2022-2023 report, the Auditor General's report, was clearly saying how the trucks were bought at 27 million Kenya shillings, trucks that were supposed to be bought at between 7 to 12 million Kenya shillings. And there were over 25 trucks that were purchased.
But Mheshimiwa Babu, I've asked you a question.
I'm coming to what you're talking about.
Just hold it, because you see, you're talking about the Nairobi governor, Johnson Sakaja.
I was telling you what surrounds the president,
just
the principal person that talked about corruption in parliament.
So my question was, have you seen corruption in parliament?
I can't deny that there is no corruption in Kenya, but I've not seen a member of parliament being given money. But the president should come out clearly and say, so and so in parliament is corrupt, and that person should be prosecuted.
At least for you, before we take a break, Mheshimiwa Mushomba, you're on record citing that people are bribed up to, is it 10,000 shillings? Sometimes in the washrooms. Were you surprised when the president said what he said?
Why should I be surprised? Why should I be surprised when the soloist of the song that we have been singing is soloing again? Why should I be surprised when a rhetoric question is asked and the answer is obviously known? When you ask a rhetoric question, you already know the answer. In fact, why should I be surprised when the president is saying a certain 10 million shillings was issued and he was asking members of parliament who are in Karen? I was not there, obviously. I was never invited in such meetings. And I don't know why you asked him whether he was there. You asked him why he was there and you didn't ask me whether I was there.
Perhaps I know you were not there.
You concluded that I am a bank bench MP. You see the way you've written us on your screen. Bank bench sparks. This is my bank bencher. I'm a backbenchers. So why would I be surprised when the president is saying that 10 million shillings that I hear it was given? Did you receive it? Did you hear him asking members of parliament?
Yes, that question.
So how did he know that 10 million shillings was given? Okay, he receives raw intelligence. Why hasn't he arrested the person who gave 10 million shillings or ordered for his arrest? He should actually have arrested that person or ordered for his arrest before he even talked about it in that parliamentarians meeting. So that was a rhetoric question. Is a statement being made for other people to hear, oh, the president is finally fighting corruption. Can the president look at this camera and tell us that he's not corrupt? Can he face this camera and tell us he's not corrupt before he even talks about parliament?
What's your answer?
First of all, president should finally know that he is no longer the guy who used to live in Karen as a deputy president. He is now the head of state. He should micromanage his state house. Review his cameras in State House. Get to know what happens in his State House first before he speaks about parliament. President should realize he is no longer the guy who meddles in the issues of parliament. He is the head of state. President should be telling us, now that we are hearing our elderly parents are no longer getting money, which we budgeted in parliament. Did we budget for the elderly people's money, what we call the social protection fund? I sat in that parliament until 9 p.m. the day we were budgeting for the elderly, the disabled of this country. And I remember we were left 4 members of parliament and we fought against the reduction of the money that was supposed to be for the elderly peoples of Kenya. Sam, as a member of parliament, I told you my business in parliament is to fight for my people. Right. I have a list from my constituency showing me that over 342 elderly people from only one ward in Githunguri ward. I have 5 wards one ward only, who previously received Inua Jamii cash transfer money, what we call constitutionally a social protection fund, didn't receive. But I sat in that parliament and we allocated the money. Where did the money go?
For which months?
Sorry?
They haven't received for which months?
For July.
July.
They didn't receive their money.
Okay.
When the president, through the Ministry of Labor, introduced the new M-Pesa way of paying these old people. So when you pay my elderly 90-year-old woman through her M-Pesa, which is never run by her, she doesn't even know how to open. She doesn't even know how to check M-Pesa balance. And then you tell us you've paid these people. And because you're using that channel so that they can lose out the money.
Mambo yamechemuka. Nao tunaangalia Nairobi County venye imefanywa na Citizen TV. Skiza.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has ordered a major crackdown on muggings in Nairobi, directing security agencies to intensify operations against criminal gangs targeting unsuspecting residents. The CS says the government is concerned about the surge in violent robberies, many linked to groups posing as street children. Kenyans have taken to social media to share harrowing accounts of being ambushed and robbed in the central business district. Ode Francis has that story.
Anxiety has gripped Nairobi residents after a surge of violence, robberies, attacks and intimidation in the central business district flooded social media over the past week. Kenyans have been taking to social media to share harrowing experiences at the hands of juvenile delinquents, followed, robbed in broad daylight, and in some cases threatened with knives or even harassment in shocking ways. Kimathi Street has become perilous after midnight.
Napata kuna hospitali fulani imetoka na huko inakuja inarusha masindano hapa zikiwa boxed hapa kwa ile ni yetu. So napata vijana machokora fulani wakipita hapa wanapata wase wametoka pale fabu kutei. Msana kutishia nao. Mimi nimetishiwa nao.
Along Moi Avenue, pedestrians walk with heightened anxiety, unsure when or where criminals might strike. Eric Okumu, a watchman, recounts how he was mugged by the gang.
Last week Thursday, kitu saa 2 hivi, walikuja hapa kuna mama fulani anauzia mafuta ndege, walikuja hapa kuna mafuta ndege, wakaanza kuzua vurugu. Mimi nikaona wananiharibia kazi yangu, nikaenda kwa zuia. Wakaamua kunivamia, wakanipiga mpaka mkono, nikaibiwa na simu.
Hii alama unaona hii ni kisu hii. Hii kisu ilikuwa inindunge hapa hii. Mungu akasaidia ikakata hapa. Ilikuwa mambo ya last week ile nyingine. Ukijaribu kungangana unaona? Ndio hiyo kisu. Uko na visu. Utafanya aje? Unapora pesa yako na simu.
Street children walikuwa maokora. So akanisimamisha. Ananiambia, rada youth. Hiyo nini umebeba hapo? Wakaanza kunishikashika mfuko. Jamaa mmoja akasikia simu. Nikaona hapa mambo itaharibika. Lekuwa jamaa akaambia Omar rafiki yake watoe kisu. Mwingine akaanza kumwambia ama tumpake mafi.
Another danger spot targeted by these gangs is Jogoo Road, particularly the Mbotela stretch. Poor street lighting in the area creates ideal condition for criminal activities, leaving residents and commuters vulnerable after dark.
Now it is at midnight. At this particular time, Nairobians are moving from town towards home, while others are moving from this area to town for work. Beside me, there are other Nairobians who are waiting to board matatus back to town. Now, with this darkness, is their security guaranteed?
Several key locations, including railways roundabout, archives, Odeon, and OTC had either minimal or no police presence.
Watu kama sisi tunatoka kazi usiku, unahofia maisha yako. Ukienda kufika kwa gate, kabla ufungue gate, unasikia watu wamekutokea. Around saa 10 usiku hata wala mama anaenda soko wako na shida.
Victims say mobile phones, laptops and cash are the items most frequently stolen during these attacks. The criminals often work in groups, using motorcycles to make a quick getaway, even brazenly escaping in the glare of CCTV cameras across CBD. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has confirmed that a security operation is currently underway to tackle the rising cases of mugs in Nairobi's CBD.
And even these mugging issues, as I've told you, part of it is perpetrated by so-called street children, organizing themselves in small groups with knives sometimes and attacking and suspecting citizens. That is a daily responsibility of the OCS in the police station. That's what I was telling the OCSs today. Shouldn't wait for, unless a very unique challenge that has come out of, a particular issue. But things like theft, muggings, that is a daily responsibility of the police officers within the area.
Unapata serikali ikikuja haishiki hawa waizi, inakuja na tushika, si watu tunajitafutia. So tunafeel vibaya sana, unapata serikali si ndio adili na sisi baada ya kudili na hawa.